Today I'm giving you guys my Week 16 power rankings. Let's go ahead and get started off with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm very confused about this team because 2 weeks ago they actually looked very well against the Buffalo Bills, even though they lost that game. But then this past game against the Baltimore Ravens, they look god awful. So I want to put them in B because I do think they have opportunities to win games and are a decent team with Joe Burrow on the offense. But the way they just played, I have to put them in C. Next up, we have the New England Patriots, and they had such a huge game last week versus the Buffalo Bills. If they would have won that game, they would have clinched the AFC East. But they sold it so hard. They were up by what, like 2 or 3 scores at one point. Just let Buffalo roll back in it and end up beating them. I do think they have some weak points, so I'm not going to put them in an S. They're not like one of my Super Bowl favorites or whatever, but still a really good team. I'm putting them in A. Next is the New Orleans Saints. Now, at one point in the season, they look like one of the worst teams in the NFL, but since Tyler Shaw has came in as starting quarterback, they have been a lot better. And not just the offense, neither. His presence has even made the defense better. I'm not saying they're a great team, but they're definitely a lot better than they looked at the beginning of the season. I'm going to put them in C as well, right above the Cincinnati Bengals. I know the San Francisco 49ers just got to win, but I'm not going to hype them up too much because the team that they beat were the Tennessee Titans, one of the worst teams in the NFL. I still do think they're a decent team, though, so I'm going to put them right in the middle of our tier rankings in B. I love that the Arizona Cardinals have looked a lot better since Jacoby Brissett has came in at quarterback. Even though they have been looking better, they just haven't found ways to win games. They're on a 6-game losing streak and only won 3 games in the entire season, and 2 of those came in the first 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to put them in D. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons beat a divisional opponent in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Thursday Night Football. Actually looked decently good doing it. I'm not going to lie, I do not think Michael Penix Jr. should be the starting quarterback in the offense. Kirk Cousins looked a lot better. I know he's getting older, so I'm not saying he should be the starter going forward, but I think they really do need to move on from Michael Penix, and the sooner they do that, the sooner they'll be a good team. I really don't think they're as bad as people think. I'm going to put them in B, and if they make the right moves this offseason, replacing their quarterback and probably their head coach as well, I do think they'll be one of the teams to reckon with in the NFC South. Baltimore Ravens are a very interesting team because they have the firepower with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to actually be a very good team. But even though they just beat the Cincinnati Bengals 24-0, I still just don't think they looked amazing. I think I'm going to put them in B right now, above the Atlanta Falcons. If you think they should be a little bit higher, I can understand why, though. Then we have the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought they were done in that game versus the Patriots because they were down by so much. But Josh Allen just carried the team on his back and willed them to a win. And that is the reason why I think this team can be very good, is specifically Josh Allen and James Cook. The defense is obviously not good at all. I really think that's going to hold them back from making it to a Super Bowl. But with Josh Allen, they have a chance in every game. So I'm going to put them in A, above the New England Patriots right now. And we had my Carolina Panthers. For the first time since 2017, we could have made the playoffs. It was literally right there. All we had to do was beat the New Orleans Saints and then not get swept by the Buccaneers, beat them at least once, and we couldn't even beat the New Orleans Saints. I think we could be a very good team, and if people say that we can, remember, we've just beat the Rams, the Packers, and they're in the number 1 and 2 seed, so I think we still have a lot of potential. We just need to find consistency, and hopefully we find that next year. But if you don't have consistency, you just can't be a great team, so I'm going to put us in C, right under the New Orleans Saints. The Chicago Bears just beat the Cleveland Browns this week, so I'm not going to hype them up too much because the Browns are obviously one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was sleeping on this team a lot because I didn't think they were playing anybody amazing, and if you look at the schedule, they still didn't play anybody amazing besides the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of weeks ago. The Eagles weren't necessarily a great team at that moment either, but I'm going to give them a little bit of trust. I'm going to hold them back from putting them in A just because they did lose to the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to put them in the very top of B, though. Cleveland Browns, like I said, are one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think Shedeur Sanders does look good at times, and obviously he's a rookie quarterback, so he's going to have some up and downs in his rookie season. I hope they do give him a chance to actually start next year, even if they put him in a training camp battle for with a veteran or something. We had the Dallas Cowboys, and for a minute there, it looked like they were going to go on a magical run because the defense was looking a lot better, and the offense was looking like they were looking the whole entire year with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott as well. And they just lost the past 2 games, so they're basically out of the playoffs now. I know not technically, but it's going to take a lot for them to get in. I don't think they're a terrible team, but not a good one either. I'm going to put them above the Ravens in B. And we had the Denver Broncos. I know a lot of people are talking bad about Bo Nix and saying that he can't carry the Denver Broncos all the way to like an AFC championship game or something like that. But what team do you look at in the AFC and actually have 100% confidence in them? Because honestly, I don't have 100% confidence in anybody in that conference right now. But yes, I do have my questions about Bo Nix, but they just beat a really good Packers team and number 1 in the AFC, so I'm going to put them in the A category right at the top of it, to be honest. The Detroit Lions are a very confusing team because at times you can see that spark, especially in the offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jared Goff, to say, hey, this is the Lions of the past couple of years, and without Ben Johnson, they can still have a really good team, but they're just so inconsistent. They've been going back from win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss for the past 10 weeks now. If they find their rhythm in the next 3 weeks of the NFL season and make it into the playoffs, maybe they can have a chance at a run, but for right now, I just don't see it. I'm going to put them in B, probably right under the Chicago Bears. Even though the Tennessee Titans have been looking a lot better since Brian Callahan has been fired, Cam Ward is looking better and better every single week. Still do think they're probably the worst team in the NFL, so I'm going to put them in the bottom of D. Green Bay Packers did just lose this week, but it was against a very good Denver Broncos team, and even though I've been kind of hating on Jordan Love, well, not even really hating, just don't trust in him 100%, he's actually looked pretty decent the past 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm going to put him in A, probably right at the end of it, though. Obviously, this upcoming game Saturday between him and the Bears is a huge game, and that will be very fun to watch. Houston Texans just played the Arizona Cardinals, so once again, not going to hype them up that much. I do think they're a very good team with a really good defense. As long as the offense doesn't turn the ball over and does decent, they could probably go very far in the AFC as well. So I'm going to put them in B above the 49ers. Obviously, they say defense can win championships. If it's any defense right now that can win a championship, it is that defense. Then we have Philip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts. They almost beat the Seattle Seahawks, and honestly, Philip Rivers did all he needed to do to end up winning that game. They just kind of choked on the defensive side of the ball a little bit, but honestly, that's all the Indianapolis Colts need to do. They're such a good team on defense, and having Jonathan Taylor, that all the quarterback needs to do is pretty much be a game manager, and I feel like Philip Rivers can do exactly that. I'm going to put him in B right above, honestly, right under the Houston Texans right now. Speaking of the AFC South, now we have the AFC South leaders in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think a lot of people are sleeping them and not really talking about them at all. At the beginning of the season, I said that they're one of my dark horse teams that can go deep into the playoffs. And right now, currently, they're kind of looking like Trevor Lawrence is balling out, just got a total of 5 or 6 touchdowns. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's against the New York Jets. Well, I don't care what team it is. If you do that to an NFL team, it is still impressive. They won their past 6 out of 7 games, beating 2 decent teams in the Colts and dominating the Chargers as well. I actually think they're a really good team. I'm going to put them in B above the Houston Texans. Then we have the Kansas City Chiefs. This is easily the biggest surprise in the NFL. They've been dominating the AFC and honestly probably the entire NFL for so long now with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and we can just tell that was something not right about this team this year and kind of last year too, even though they were still winning games. And this will be the first time in what, like 10 years or so that they did not make the playoffs. Honestly, you can be a little bit excited about that, but prayers up to Patrick Mahomes. You never like to see any player get hurt, even if it is one of the GOATs in the NFL right now. It's obvious that they're not the same team, and obviously with Patrick Mahomes, they're not going to be even close to that now, so I'm going to put him in B, probably right under the Baltimore Ravens, I guess. They have the LA Rams. I've been saying it all year. I'll say it again. They're pretty much the only team I trust right now in the entire NFL, so I'm going to put them in F. I honestly think they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl as long as they don't choke or Matthew Stafford has a really bad day. I do think they're the best team in the NFL easily. Next is the LA Chargers. I know a lot of people are going to give me hate because they won the past 2 games and against some decent opponents as well, but I just don't trust in Justin Herbert right now with that hurt hand. Right now, I just look at them as an team that if they do make it in the playoffs, they'll probably lose the first round. I'm going to put them right below the 49ers and B. Say what you want to about JJ McCarthy, but the past 2 weeks, especially this past week against the Dallas Cowboys and Monday Night Football, he's actually been looking very good. This is why I always say do not count out rookie quarterbacks, especially their first year or even 2 in the NFL. I'm not saying he'll be the future franchise quarterback of that team, but if he keeps playing like this, they should definitely give him another shot next year. I'm going to put him in B, probably right under the Baltimore Ravens. Then we have the New York Giants. I know everybody was hating on Brian Daboll and me at one point as well, but it's kind of confusing because earlier, before they fired him, with him and Jackson Dart, it looked like they actually had a chance in any game that they played, even though they weren't a great team. But ever since they fired him, they've been looking a lot worse, especially this past week versus the Washington Commanders. I mean, I thought the Commanders were one of the worst teams, and they lost to them and didn't look good at all. Honestly, I had them in C, but I'm going to drop them down in D. Speaking of one of the worst teams, we're going to stay in this category for a while because next up we have the Jets and Raiders. Obviously, both of them are going in D. I don't think anybody is going to argue with me right there. And honestly, while we're down here, let's go ahead and put the Washington Commanders in D as well. Just finish off the category. Now we have the Seattle Seahawks. I know they're looking like one of the best teams in the NFL, especially in the NFC right now. And I don't know why, but something is just screaming to me that they're going to make the playoffs, look like one of the best teams, and just lose in the first round or two for some reason. They will have a very good opportunity this week in Thursday Night Football to beat the LA Rams, trying to get back in that division, and also prove that they can beat very good teams. Right now, I do think they're a very good team, but I'm not going to put them in A just yet. I'll put them in the very top of B. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and even though they're first in the NFC South, let's be honest, they're not a good team. I know Baker Mayfield was looking like his MVP self earlier in the year, but now their defense is struggling. Their offenses as well. Baker Mayfield's not looking like the same person. He's kind of looking like what he did with my Carolina Panthers. Still do think they're a decent team. Probably still going to win the NFC South, so I am going to put them in B, but not very high in it. I'm right behind the LA Chargers. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not going to lie. I've kind of been hyping this team up, even though they've been struggling, just because I've said they had Jalen Hurts, they have Saquon Barkley. He can just start going off at any point, and A.J. Brown has actually been looking decently good the past couple of games. So they have all the pieces they had last year to kind of go on the Super Bowl run, but with what they've been looking like as of recently, I just can't put them very high. I'm still going to put them in B right under the Chicago Bears. I am recording this midday Monday, so I have to go watch the Monday Night Football game real quick, and then we'll come back and finish these last two games. It'll still be in the video, but just I have to go watch it real quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry I have my Christmas pajamas on, but it's 11 o'clock at night and literally a week before Christmas, so obviously I'm going to have them on. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they did exactly what everybody thought they were going to do. Yes, I do think they're a good team. The pickup of Aaron Rodgers was actually a really good pickup, but I don't think they're like one of the best. Like, I don't think they're going to go to an AFC Championship run or anything like that. I'm going to put them in B right above the LA Chargers. Then we have the Miami Dolphins, and even though they have been looking a lot better, especially compared to what they were looking at the beginning of the season, they didn't look really good tonight. I don't think they're a bad team, but not a good one either, so I'm going to put them in B right above the Atlanta Falcons. And this is my Week 16 power rankings, everybody. We literally have 3 more weeks of the regular season, and that's it. Thanks for watching anyways, though. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you guys out next time. Peace.